Hey, Shalom. Like if I undergo it too.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakwadash.
Hey, double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstones. Salutations to all you sincere I can push this word across the four corners of the world. You know, when we're in spirit of prophecy, man, as you can see with things moving out in this world, that's how you know we're at the end of the so-called white man's rulership. We are the biblical Edomites, man. So it's a whole beautiful spiritual transitional phase that's going around this whole world right now, man. So a lot of brothers are waking up in the spirit, and just like Jake in the world, they are waking up to the madness of this world. Starting with the feminism, things of that sort, man. So it's a whole different type of atmosphere of a different spirit, man. More men are getting to their masculinity, man. Yep. So what we're doing through the spirit, man, we prophesy against the downfall of America, known as Babylon the Great. Okay?
This is Isaiah chapter 12, verse 2. Salakia 13 and 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the north.
So that banner we doing it, that's through the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. We spiritually waving that banner. You know, so in the hopeful lit or seeing that banner and they coming into this fold, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And while we are doing that, we're also prophesying the downfall of Esau Edom and his kingdom, America, man. Okay? Start back on.
Isaiah chapter 13, starting verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
And that mountain, that high mountain is representing America. Because America is known as Babylon the Great, where all these other nations are drinking that Babylonian wine. Because America got that type of influence. What they do, all these other kingdoms, they want to mimic America, man. So that's a high mountain. When you go to the word summit, it goes into like a peak. You know, the highest, man. So that's how you know that's America is talking about in the scripture. That we waving that banner toward.
Isaiah 26 and 5, right? Yeah. And this is Isaiah 26 and verse 5. And it states, for he bring down them that dwell on high. He lofty city. He lay it low. He lay it low, even to the ground. He bring it even to the dust.
Yep, that lofty city is representing America, man. Because what they do is contrary to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, build the laws, statutes, and commandments. Because what Americans do, they come with their own laws, their own policies, their own agendas and mandates. And all that is really anti-God, anti-Messiah, man. So that's that lofty city, you know? And, what was that?
This is back in Isaiah 26 and verse 5. For he bring down them that dwell on high.
Yeah, so that's talking about the elites of Esau Edom, man. The ones that actually pull strings in this society. They fund both sides of the wars. You know, they go back. That's that old money, man. You watch a movie out, it's called The House of Rothschild. It came out like 1934, 1936, around that area. It shows you how these elites, how they set up their sons in different parts of the world, man. So that's that old money. They funded the slave trade, things of that sort, man. They run Hollywood, the money system, the pharmaceutical industry, anything that you name, they run it, man, because that's given to them to rule for a certain point in time.
And this is Romans 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High.
Yeah, so Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua has set the elites of Esau Edom to rule for a certain point in time. So that's why they maneuver in this world right now and a whole bunch of wickedness, man. As it says that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, so if something is given to you, it's like a gift. So this is the so-called white man. This is the so-called white man's blessing or his gift to rule the inhabitants of the world right now, man. You know?
Back in Isaiah 26 and verse 5, the lofty city, he lay it low, even to the ground, and bring it even to the dust.
Yeah, that lofty city just talks about how prideful this place America is, man. It's exalted itself. That's why it goes back into that highest mountain, man. That summit, that peak. You know what I'm saying? So Most High is going to bring it down, by the way, first and foremost, the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, breaking those strongholds. We waking up to the madness of this society. You go to the word Babylon, it goes to confusion. So a lot of brothers are waking up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. They really seeing the madness of this world, man. And also through the ways of those nuclear missiles known as ICBMs, you know?
And then it states dust, right? Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Yeah, because basically, like the brother's saying, hey, Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shah will use that nuclear technology to destroy America. When you go into that term Sodom, it means what? Burning. America is also known as spiritually Sodom. All right, Gomorrah. Okay, when you go into that Hebrew term, it means to be out of sight, to seek out of sight. What would do that? Nuclear activity. So it starts with the prophecy from the prophets via the Holy Spirit, and then it manifests on a physical level, such as nuclear destruction.
This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh has indignation forever.
Yeah, so Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shah has spiritually designed Esau, Edom to be the wicked, man. He said, vessel of dishonor fitted for destruction. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's controlled. It's like you play a video game, you have your creative player. So that's how Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shah, known as the potter, what he did to that clay. And Esau is the wicked clay of the movie, man. So he's just playing his position, his role, and what he's doing is his righteousness, because it's in order to the guideline, the movie of Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shah. He's just playing out to be the wicked, man. So as us, as the hopeful elect, we supposed to prophesy the downfall of America, man, coming to our life, you know, our movie role. You know?
What you just said, priest, that's the only logical explanation for what's going on the earth. You know, his brother Ayasha Mafra behind the camera, like he be saying, this the only thing that's making sense. See, people about to come to find out, this the only thing that's true, man. You even got this one guy, I'm not sure if he's an Edomite or Israelite foreigner, he a quirky guy. But that dude, Russell Brand, you know, he playing them different moves and shit. But recently he just came out speaking about the chariots. You know, speaking about the new release by the Pentagon, showing those triangular shaped, you know, so-called UFOs. And basically he was saying, well, if you look all throughout history, these vehicles have always been here. You know what I'm saying? But he was going off into some, you know, evolutionary bullshit. But the point is, people will listen to that guy because why? He's a rich man. Yep. Over the poor man. But people gonna see, bro, this is it right here, you know?
Why do you think the Most High only used Noah?
Yep.
The Most High only used Noah. One man.
One man.
One man.
Yep.
All right?
Hey, and then where it said in Malachi 1 and 4, it said, where Edom says that they will, we are impoverished, but we will return and build in the desolate place. And you can refer that to America, man, because they did it by way of, you know, the slaves and everything, man. But this is how they was building up. And the Lord is tearing it down right now, man, because you can see it circling the drain, man. Right. You know, and what is America going to be once the thermonuclear missiles hit, man? It's going to be a desolate place. You know what I'm saying? So all this they're doing is in vain, man, because this is a prophecy that's in the midst of being fulfilled right now, man.
That's right, man. In these major cities you go to, it's just really normal cities, you see Esau constantly building, man. You know what I'm saying? So that fits the prophecy right there that he's going to be doing. After, you know, he came up with the Renaissance period.
Yeah. And this is Exodus 13 and 23. When a rich man speak, every man hold his tongue and look what he say. They extol it to the clouds.
That's how it is in this society, man, in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because you got so-called status, worldly goods, so people look at you from a different aspect, man. Yeah. They respect your opinion because they look at you like, this is what I want to be like. So they're going to try to follow everything that you say, man. It can be all types of wickedness. Like the brother just brought out by Russell Brand, man. You know? But they go adhere to what he's saying because he's so-called rich in this society, man. That's right.
But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this?
Yeah, so we represent the poor man in this world, man. The meek, the poor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we're not, as you can see, nobody gonna be listening to us. But we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shah, his word's not going out void, man.
Here it is, bro. You got the Lord's movie, because you didn't own that. You got the Lord's movie and Downtown Desolate. Meanwhile, you had this damn movie with Bruce Willis being filmed downtown. You know, and everybody, they might want to show up to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, that's how the Lord works.
Yeah, that's how it works, man. So what we're doing, that's how you know it's beautiful, because what we're doing, it's like the multitude of the world, they follow after that shit like that. What the brother just talked about, you know, what's the name? Bruce Willis, you know what I'm saying? So the scriptures say, follow now multitude to do evil, you know?
Hey, and as well as like the rich man, you know, people will listen to, like Brother Brandon, listen to the rich man when he's speaking everything, but the poor man, they don't want to listen to him. And truth be told, man, chances are the poor man is the wisest man, because he's the one who's going through the most hell, man. He's the one who's got the most experience, man. So it's really just ass backwards, man. You know, but that's just how it is, man. But that's another reason why Jake want to rub elbows to Esau, selling out their souls, man, or just selling out completely to get this upper echelon, man, so they can feel like they're somebody, man. So people will want to listen to what they got to say. And that's the plan of Esau, because once they get that, once Esau places you in that position where you got this platform and people listening to you, especially amongst Jake, man, amongst Israel, that way they can deceive Israel to have Israel, like say, following out a multitude to do evil, and have Israel doing all the evil acts, man, and Jake following right behind us, man.
Right, man. So that's good that, you know what I'm saying, it's like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, following down that narrow path, man, let's see what's going to happen, man. You know, it's going to be for your destruction. You know?
You want to start precept, brother?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, come on.
This is Isaiah chapter 24, verse 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the king of the earth upon the earth.
Yeah, the host of the high ones represent these elites, man. These banking elites. Starting with the Oppenheimers. You know, you got the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys. All these banking elite families, man. And that's who Yahweh Bashim Shah has set up to run this world for a certain point in time. And as you can see, that this whole world is in chaos, man. People are not truly happy. Everything is fake in this world. So these are the high ones that Yahweh Bashim Shah, he's going to bring down to a low estate, man. He's going to raise up those poor ones, as we just read, to a high status, man. And we're in that time, that transitional phase. It's about to be a whole different trading places in this society, man. You know?
Genesis 27 and verse 40. And by thy sword shall you live, and shall serve your brother, and it shall come to pass when you shall have the dominion, that you shall break his yoke from off your neck. And basically going into the blessing Esau received from Isaac, who was Yahweh Shah. This is the aftermath of Yahweh Shah giving him that blessing. As when he was on Isaac. All right, so now because of this blessing, the bases of men have control of the entire world. And that goes to show you the strength of Yahweh Bashim Shah. Here you have a caveman that couldn't even fucking speak, that brain, such as horses and things of that nature. Look how the Most High has set him on high.
Now this nigga got fighter jets.
Fighter jets.
Yeah, man.
You know,
That's powerful.
that's power.
And so it's only right for that same man, Isaac, which in the reincarnation, we know through the spirit, that shit Yahweh Shah, to come take him out of that power seat, man. So that's how you know who that was, through the spirit, man. He the one gave him the blessing, he's the one who take away the blessing away from him, man.
If I can make a quick point, you had the TV series Them, which comes on Amazon Prime, and this is about a so-called black family moved from North Carolina to Compton, California back in the 40s. And this was when Edomite was predominantly existing in Compton. And basically, you had the Jake. He was basically a war veteran, all right? He's called to the office by the Edomite, and the Edomite comes into the office like a dog, like, come over here. So he's in the office scared as shit, because he's the only Jake in the only Jake in the workplace. So Esau was talking to him like, why were you staring off in space? Esau was talking to him like, why were you staring off in space? And Jake just got his head low, walking on eggshells. No, sir. Yes, sir.
And you know what, Elder? And that's symbolic that how Esau has destroyed our confidence.
Yep.
When you can't look a man in his eyes, when you're walking with your shoulders forward and your head drooping down, that is evident of what? Low confidence. So what Esau did on the left-hand side of Yahweh Shem Shah, he took our frame from us, man.
Yeah, because
And then he gave us another frame, his frame.
And that was the previous wound.
Yep.
Oh, we gotta go to that now. Okay.
The previous,
I see how it's going.
the lion with no courage.
That's right.
You got a term called post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a multi-generational trauma, like, you know, for the social injustices.
That's right.
Pretty much you want to just detail it all down to a narrow ground, the curses, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what we're going through right now, that really goes back to post-traumatic slave syndrome, man. I'll just read one point that the elders Howell just brought out. It says, PTSS, or post-traumatic slave syndrome, has similarities to the more widely known diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. They include avoiding certain places, people, or activities, and events. And
That goes case in point what the elder was stating. That's the reason why Jake could not look his superior in his eyes. But now through the Spirit, the Most High is giving us our spiritual frame.
Right, man.
Through the Word, we got the red pill.
That's
not
right.
7 Samuels, not alpha male strategies. No, that shit started with the prophets.
Hey,
man.
started with Abba Bibbins, man.
Yeah.
Hey, started with Abba Bibbins, and for us, Elder Apostle Hart, man. You know?
That's right, man. Because you go to the word value, the hopeful elect, they really a high value man in this society, man. The word value goes into moral worth. Because you think about the Kevin Samuels, alpha male strategies, what they be preaching about, they be on point about certain things, but a lot of times they be going no. They talk about adultery, things of that sort. So that's not anything with moral worth, man. You know? Hey, so going back to PTSS, it says avoiding certain places, people, or activities and events that may remind the individual of the trauma or experience.
Yep.
You know, you have a lot of Jakes nowadays that be scared to swim.
Yep.
Why is that? Because of the slave trade.
Hey, that's heavy. You got Jakes that's scared to go down south. Like, we're from Mississippi, right? But we got cousins from out of state. They be like, hey, y'all good?
Hey, when we went to Santo Domingo the first time in 2016, yeah, we was in the elevator with these Jakes from New York. And they found out we was from Mississippi with the Jakes. They was like, woo!
I can't go down there.
Yeah, but they still got in their mindset that, you know, there's no highways, you know what I'm saying? Everything just gravel.
And walking around with lanterns.
Yeah, lanterns at nighttime and shit.
He felt like if he was to come down south, he'll get lynched.
Yeah. So
You
it's,
know, we say Mississippi Burning, reminded him of that movie.
But them the stories they used to hear, man, because, you know, a lot of Jakes fled the South back in, you know what I'm saying, 40s, 50s, going up north, man. Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit.
Going out west.
Or going out west, you know what I'm saying, to escape the fear of coming back here, what they hearing today, man. That's why Jake don't want to come back here.
They move.
Yeah.
And it's the theme, the series, them, it documented that it said, you know, around this particular time, Jakes was fleeing the south and going up north and out west. And that was a mass migration, man.
Yeah.
Is it more to that?
let me get a couple precepts. So it says avoiding certain places, people, or activities, and events that may remind an individual of the trauma or experience.
Yeah, you don't want to, a lot of Jakes, I don't even want to be around a whole bunch of Edomites. You know what I mean? Go to a bar or some shit and ain't no Edomites there, or a club, or, because you think, shit, you know?
That's right. Like going back again, like, you know, by swimming, man. Because a
Yeah.
lot of Jakes are afraid of swimming because what happened to them in probably a previous lifetime.
And they said
Slave
it's,
ships.
and they said it's carried in your DNA.
That's right. That's why it's called multi-generational trauma, man.
And you know what? A point to bring out.
Which proves reincarnation.
Hey, you know, a point to bring out. You have different dog breeds, right? Labrador Retriever, Golden Retriever. If you ever have one or been around one, you don't have to train it to fetch. It's because as soon as you throw that ball, he's going to go after that ball. But why? Because hundreds of years ago, those particular breeders at that time, they trained them that when the hunter shot the bird out the sky, you going to fetch it. That's been bred over them generation after generation. So when you turn around and buy a breed today, he's going to automatically fetch it.
And that goes to show you that those spirits come back on earth.
It comes back on earth.
You know?
So if that's not far, because you got a dog breed called the pointer. If you shoot a bird at the sky, it's gonna point in the direction that you shot that bird. Right. It's called a pointer.
Yeah.
It's gonna point in the direction. But you don't have to train it to do that. It's in his instinct.
Right.
Because he's been bred like 500 years ago in England to do that.
Right.
And which proves the point. Esau had a movie a couple of years back called A Dog's Purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And it talked about every time that dog died, how it came back on the earth through reincarnation, man.
And the reason why I brought that out, so if it's not far-fetched,
You know.
if it's not far-fetched that the dogs come back and they lot, so to speak, and you can breed something into a dog, or how much less far-fetched is it that you can breed fear in our people?
And you know what, Elder? And when you basically throw that stick and that retriever automatically goes to get that. What is that? That's you stirring up his pure mind.
Yep.
You know, that's the same thing the Most High did with us within the spirit.
Hey, it's like the scripture say, the spirit of the prophet,
Man.
is subject unto the prophet.
That's it, bro.
So if you was doing it back in the ancient days, it's in your DNA, it's your life. You're gonna be doing the same thing today.
You know, going on PSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome, it's like if you could breed that in those animals, and it still lasts generations in the future, you could breed a certain fear in our people, and they come back still with those traumas.
Because people are allegedly on a higher level than animals.
Yep. So like our people, they scared of swimming. Somebody noticed with our women, they get on the phone and immediately sound like a so-called white woman. Why is it that you get around? Because the scripture say, why trimmers thy way to seek love? Why is it that women that get on the phone or they get around Edomites, all of a sudden they act like an Edomite? You know, or the Israelite man, he takes the dominance out of the spirit, so he want to offend Esau. You know, because that was offensive in slavery to be an Israelite man with confidence, man. That was offensive.
Yeah.
To be an Israelite man with confidence.
While we commanded, you read in the book of Hebrews, it says, lift up the hands that hang down and the feeble knees. So having faith, because faith, that goes into a masculine frame.
Because you know what, because what happened, we got emasculated as a people. We got if you look up the word emasculate, that's to take the masculinity away from the man. And that's the sign of being conquered. When you conquer, man, he's emasculated. That's why the hand was hanging low, and like you was breaking down, the head was hanging low, because we got conquered. We got conquered as a people, man.
They call it buck breaking.
Buck breaking. That's why the wave of Black Lives Matter and toxic masculinity, the guy Tariq Nasheed's bringing out, it's another form of buck breaking.
Yeah, hey, this LGBTQP community, and it's mainly being pushed on, like they would have said, Black Lives Matter, but the Black Lives Matter quickly transitioned into Black Trans Lives Matter. Because now, because everything that Esau does, see, now he got you. You know, because now he using you to buck break each other, man. You know, when you look at the music industry, the way Jay do each other, when you look at, you know, once again, this homosexual agenda, you buck breaking each other. Dealing with Jay killing each other, because it's more you kill each other than the cops. He used you to take yourself out. You know, so now, hey, the affliction of Zion is fulfilled, man. You know?
So when Esau does that, it's cost effective.
All right, so it says PTSS, we're going to get the curse for it as well. And it says difficulty, concentrating, feeling jumpy, or being easily angered.
And that's the anxiety that comes upon you when you actually experience this, man. That's what makes it traumatic. Because as soon as you get in that environment or you see that person, you start to get the jitters. You start to get the shakes, or you become nervous, man.
They call that moving in white space. When you get around a bunch of Edomites, like you're on an office job, you get around Edomites, it's like you maneuvering in what they call white space now. And it's a certain feeling you will get. You might feel powerless. It's an awkward feeling when you're around it, even if they cool. It is like, I'm the only Jake here. I know it, and they know it. It's a different spirit, man. And I've been around Edomites that were cool as hell on the clock, but for whatever reason, when you was around them and you was the only Jake, they get a little more bold, man. When it's more than one, it is you. They spirit change up,
They
man.
gang up on you.
Yup.
That goes back to the old days.
Yup. The worst place to be as a so-called black man is the only so-called black man around a bunch of Edomites.
Yeah, it's that feeling of that public lynching.
Yup.
You know?
We got one.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 68, 28, so like chapter 28, starting at verse 65. Among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart.
So we go to the word trauma, it goes into like a psychic wound. You know what I'm saying? Which goes back into what we were going through as those curses, man. You know?
And failing of eyes.
And new experiences opens it back up.
It's a trigger.
It triggers it.
Hey, God, I'm not gonna lie. When I watched that movie, was it 12 Years a Slave? No, Django. When they showed those German shepherds like killing their man, I felt something, man. I mean, I think I told you about it. You came up.
Wow.
I have something against like German shepherds.
And I'll bring some out. Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come, with those that shall come out.
Hey, I remember preaching that Lord, he brought that out years ago. He was saying like, hey, that's really a benefit. Yahweh Shemashah does that to us, and we can't remember what we went through in previous lifetime.
Yeah.
You'll be bugged out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Just think about it, when you offend the Most High, look how you dwell on the smallest things.
Yeah.
So what if he opened you back up and showed you what you went through back in the old days? You'll bug the fuck
In
out.
that same assault.
Yep, that's true.
And what's the name of that? What's the name? Foreign language syndrome. Y'all remember that? I think it's called foreign language syndrome. Where you just come out of nowhere and start speaking a foreign language, but really it's broken down to you speaking a language in your past life.
Yeah, Jake did that. Well, few Jake did that during slavery. Started speaking the Hebrew.
Yeah, but I think it happened recently where Jake was speaking Hebrew in the hospital.
They go into a coma.
He'll go into a coma and then he'll tap into his past life. I brought that out just to say, look, if you could do that with a language, imagine what type of traumas and, because you, hey, what the hell that movie with Denzel called Deja Vu?
Yeah.
You know, we was in the same country for 400 years, so we didn't came back. So you got all types of traumas and things that, you know, that we witnessed while we were here.
Hey, like you said, the DNA.
It's your DNA. I'm sorry, DNA is it's really like a software program. It's downloaded things from your life. I'm sorry, you got it right.
That would really make your spirit.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And I know it kind of like veering off a little bit. That's about the jab, man. They want to offer your DNA to separate you from your power.
But the RNA is like that messenger.
Yeah.
So Esau's creating his own RNA or messenger by that operating system,
That's
vaccine.
right. That's right.
So, you know.
The RNA is like the prophet.
Yeah. So what he's trying to do, he's trying to alternate your whole system, your soul, your spirit.
Because he also equate the DNA to what? A God-like gene.
And the RNA is the messenger or the prophet. That means Esau is going to be the guy. He's, instead of the Most High putting the information in you and hardwiring you.
That's right.
All right, Esau was basically going to be programming you to do his will.
That's why some of the people get microchipped, they be hearing voices in their heads. Or you're being controlled by that left hand now, man.
Back in the scripture, Deuteronomy 28, verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
And that's the reason for the great migration in Mississippi, well, from the South. We had no ease during the Jim Crow era. So after, we definitely didn't have ease during slavery, but right after slavery, we had no fucking ease in the South.
And what about the Trail of Tears?
Yeah.
All that walking.
From the Florida Everglades, all right, to motherfucking Oklahoma. You can't fathom that shit. Hey, you know what? Hey, some brothers do ride share, right? You'll pick up somebody, they gotta get a ride up the street to the gas station and take them back to the house. It's a fucking 5-minute drive. But you know how long a 5-minute drive easily be like a 30-minute walk. So just imagine walking from Florida to damn Oklahoma, man, in the thick of the winter.
That's why scripture say in Wisdom of Solomon, how could anything have endured if it had not been by thy will? You know, that was divine intervention to survive in slavery.
Hey man, it could have been a chariot over them behind them thick white snow clouds. Hey, you know, guiding our people, man, or sending strict, so you never know.
That's right.
Some people have no shoes, man. That snow, and they didn't get, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure some may have, but not frostbite, where they losing limbs and stuff, man. That's divine intervention, man.
Gangrene.
Gangrene all day.
And you gotta think about it. How about you shall allow that to happen to fulfill prophecy? That's right, bro. That's right.
But the Lord Yahweh shall give thee the trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and shalt have fear day and night.
You're going back and forth, you know, a failure of eyes, meaning what? No future, which means no hope. You know, and all that is what post-traumatic.
Hey, and for PTSS, it says appearing emotionally numb, also called vacant esteem. This includes feelings of hopelessness, depression, and a general self-destructive outlook.
There you go.
Oh, that's Jake all day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which came from what? The curses. Which was what? Curses goes into indignation, which means righteous anger. So everything that happened to us from Deuteronomy 28:15 chapter on down, hey, we fucking deserved it, man.
Yeah, and it's a divine thing.
Yeah.
Even though it ain't pleasant, it's a divine force that got Jake in this condition, man.
Well, that's why the Most High, Yahweh Shah told us, I have wounded you with the wound of an enemy. Esau was just a vessel. You were just a tool of Yahweh Shema Shah, chastening rod of Yahweh Shema Shah, and we were his son. The Most High used another nation as a chastening rod to be his son, man. You know? And if anybody has a son, you know a boy is very stubborn. You can tell a boy, am I correct, Priest Abaya and brother? Anybody has a son, you know a boy is very stubborn. Because you're going to tell a boy the same thing over and over again. And after a while, you just got to give him that grand punishment. Because he's going to do it, you're going to tell him to do it, he's going to stop doing it, he's going to go back to doing it. And was that not us during the time of Judges?
That's right. That's us.
Then the Most High, at the end of it, he gave us that final punishment.
That's it.
You know?
Hey, can I bring some of my real friends? Hey, Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the Most High. Now watch me go to the Spirit. Deuteronomy 28:46. And they shall be, so the day is referring to what the curses, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. When you go into that term, wonder, according to the Hebrew, it's called mawapaf, and that's Strong's H41 and 59, and it means what? A sign, token of future events. All right, so one way the Spirit bear witness with our spirit via the curses, which is what? A sign, a token of future events, and also wonder as a special display of the Most High's power. Us surviving the Atlantic, the transatlantic slave trade, or the fucking Trail of Tears, and so on and so forth. All of this is symbolic for us, you know what I'm saying, going through these curses, but at the same time frame, the Most High is magnified within us via these curses, man.
So the apostle says a while back, the curses fall on Israel. So you have certain Israel that look like the other nations, but they grew up in a crack house, their mom was an addict. That's the thing, man.
That's it.
It's really, those curses really like a spiritual stigma, man.
Yep.
You know, so no matter where we go, how we look, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause look at the untouchables. They don't look like these people on the sign.
Right.
And we know through the prophecies, the curses.
They catch you.
Yeah, that's when we know who they are according to the scriptures.
And they actually said they identify with the struggle of the black people in America. And they had said that during the 70s, during the 60s and 70s. They
They're
said that.
very witness.
You got the Irish.
Yeah.
You watched the movie Snatch. What's that? Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt
And he had that thick Irish accent. He had that thick accent.
Yeah.
But that was like Jake out in the country. And y'all saw the movie Snatch, and it was like out in the country, like in a trailer park. But they were like, they had that thick Irish accent, but that was no different from Jake that had a real rough in the country.
You know what? And to back you up, remember that sign? No blacks, no Irish, no dogs.
Yep.
I wonder why.
And they got a few like that because they got another one that say no Negroes, no Mexicans, no dogs. Yeah. They got a few signs like that.
Esau know we the same people, man. You know, and Esau know about the Israelite foreigners as well. That's why he can label people from other nations and state them, or identify them as the undesirable, because he knows that their bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Man, they know.
Yeah, see, now the new thing, you want to lie and say that white people went into slavery. When they mention that, they're talking about the Irish.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that a lot lately, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the only slavery that so-called white people, based on the lineage of their fathers, went through, what they call it, indentured
servants.
Indentured servants. Meaning what? Basically, they put themselves in slavery to pay off something. Okay? That's the only reason.
Right.
And not because of their bloodline.
I'm gonna get the definition of this word stigma, because the priest, he mentioned the word stigma, all right, as pertaining to the curses of Deuteronomy 28. This is the etymology dictionary, stigma. It says mark made on skin by burning with hot iron. It says Latin stigma from Greek stigma, all right, stigmatos, which goes back to like character, really.
Yeah.
Hey, that goes into Galatians, the 6th chapter. Bear the marks, you know.
But it says mark of an appointed instrument, puncture, tattoo, mark, brand, from root of stizine to mark, tattoo.
So really, in other words, that's like an indicator to know who are these people on the side, man.
Deuteronomy 28.
Deuteronomy 28.
We branded with the curses.
We're branded, man. That's the Most High's mark to show the world who are the real children of Israel.
You got tatted up, man.
Yeah, spiritually tatted up, man.
For the neck tats,
Yeah.
the face tat. Yeah.
That's a video. We got to do a video.
Yeah,
It's serious. Confirm.
All right, back in Deuteronomy 28:46, and they, referring to the curses, shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
That's stigma, man.
That's it, bro.
Hey, this is Ezekiel 22:4. Thou art become guilty in thy blood that thou hast shed, and hast defiled thyself and thy idols, which thou hast made. Thou hast caused thy days to draw near, and are come even unto thy years.
Hey, us as a nation. All right, we became tatted up with these curses because we committed spiritual fornication, man. You know, we left a good man, you know what I'm saying, for a thug.
Yeah.
And that's
You know
why.
what I'm saying?
And that's why Eve. It's like Eve. You know, out bad in the hood, right? You know, Eve is a microcosm. Eve is a microcosm of the nation of Israel. So Eve could be doing down bad because she was infatuated with heathen niggas, street niggas, you know. But she left a good man, you know.
Yep, a good man. And what's that in bold song? What a mighty good man.
What a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
So it says, therefore have I made
Too.
That's right.
Because like everybody, when you're approached, that be like, no, don't hire them niggas.
That's a shame.
Or some jakes moving your neighborhood, it's like, oh, there goes the neighborhood. That's the reproach. People moving out, people moving in, YIP, because of the color of the skin. But the real color of the skin is the curses.
Right. Hey, it's affected us, man, because if we get around our neighborhood or around a whole bunch of Jason and Wild, you don't want to be around that
We
shit.
got the same spirit. But you know what? Mark received that Cain and it stripped his melanin. But there was a mark saying, like, this Cain. But we receive a mark in the spirit. It was like, it's a spiritual mark where it's like, they got the great cloud over them. So wherever they go, everything, the cost of your neighborhood is going to be devalued. The hell is going to come right behind them, man.
Hey, and also for curses, as a special display of the Most High's power. So once we had kings like King David and King Solomon, and look at us now, Young Thugs and Lil Wayne and the Jay-Z's.
Degenerate play.
Yeah, or we were working for this so-called white man. You know, the last in his system.
That's right.
When the earth belongs to us.
What it is, servants,
Ecclesiastes 10:6.
I have seen servants on horses and princes,
Service.
yeah.
Man, it's a display of the Most High's power.
Yes, there you go.
Because it doesn't logically make sense for a man that's a natural alpha male. Like if you look at any Israelite man, you basically a natural alpha male. It doesn't make sense for you to be scared of this beta males.
Man, yeah,
Beta.
beta.
Yeah, you look at him and then you look at him. It's like, why are you afraid of him?
Yeah.
When it says in the book of Deuteronomy, how I rocked soldiers.
That's right, bro.
We got stripped away from that power, man. So it says, therefore have I made thee a reproach unto the heathen and a mocking to all countries.
Niggas,
That's right.
the undesirables.
Power.
Hey, what other nation fits that? I have made them a reproach to the heathen. That fits nobody else. You're a reproach to the heathen.
Yeah. People want to speak about damn Asians getting attacked. Well, no, ain't nobody studying no damn Asians, man.
That's
They
a false narrative.
Yeah, Esau was propaganda.
Yeah, man.
You know? All right, now the priest of Abaya had brought out Deuteronomy 28:46, the priest Shakat, that dealing with the word sign, okay? And in Hebrew, the word for sign is awak. Awak. And I'm gonna read some of these. All right, now it says sign, signal, a distinguishing mark. A distinguishing mark.
Distinguishing, man.
Those spiritual curses, which are manifested on earth. You know, how we became proverbs, the slave trade, the envy eye, meaning the mindset, how we hate our brethren from the northern kingdom, from the southern, from the northern to the southern kingdom, and even from so-called Negroes hating other Negroes.
Right, man.
You know, or your wife hates you, she hates her children. Hey, these are distinguishing marks, man.
Yeah, because the feminist movement, the things that happen in America, it's just a manifestation of the curses. They got their own name for it, but it's the evil eye feminist movement.
Yeah.
The evil eye towards his own brother, gangbangers. But it had to manifest in some way.
Yeah.
And that's heavy too, because after a distinguishing mark, it says banner. Now this is the only captivity where Jake went this hard, exalting their captivity. It's like nigga culture is a standard.
Yeah.
You know, like what hood I'm from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jake go the hardest with that shit, man.
Didn't ask that shit even out towards her fruit of her womb?
Yeah.
What's the abortion rate with the so-called black woman and Hispanic woman? You know, but if she got pregnant by Edomite, she wouldn't have an abortion.
Exactly.
It says banner, remembrance, miraculous.
They
sign.
said better. Like Elder Pastor Hart said, us going to slavery is actually in the history book. So it's like somebody putting your mug shot on the newspaper.
That's right.
You know, us and those cargo slave ships being hauled up, that was a fucking mug shot.
And some heavy Apostle Elder Tahar was going to about that yoke of iron. You can just Google yoke of iron, a so-called Negro gonna pop up. No other nation.
nation.
Man.
And which
Okay, good time.
proves that banner, we're poster children for the curses, man. We're poster children for the curses.
Wow. And even if you Google slavery, most of the pictures is going to be Jake in the cotton fields.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. White gold.
Yep.
You see Jake's face.
Yep. Yep.
And then it says a miraculous sign, meaning what? How the fuck are these niggas still on earth?
Right.
How did they survive all of this? And the so-called Latin tribes.
Say lamentations of the Lord's mercy will not consume.
Yeah, but what does lamentation mean? Lament.
Mourn, cry.
They say bitterly cry.
Bitter, yeah.
Showing you that this is the new Egypt.
That's it.
You got it, right?
All right.
Hold on, doesn't America go back to bitter?
Yeah, it does.
Mari. That word Mari,
Amari,
the
yeah.
Italian word.
Can I bring it out? Hey, this is I said there, one of my favorite scriptures. Yeah, you know where I'm going with. And this is Ruth. What says 1 and yeah, this is Ruth 1 and 20. And she said unto me, call me not Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty have dealt very bitterly with me.
That's right. That's proof of America. Man.
Yeah, America goes back to the origin of Mara in the Hebrew.
Yeah.
So the Most High brought us to the Americas because he was going to deal bitterly with us. We were spiritually Naomi's prior to us coming to the Americas.
And you know what's heavy? We always bring this out. Like old dog was like, if there's a God, you know, why does he allow this to happen to us?
Yeah.
You know, if you deal with them children, if your son piss you off right and you know he's in trouble, he'll try to call you and you ignore him. Like when your children like really piss you off and you know he's in trouble, you want her to understand, like I ain't even trying to talk to you right now. So he'll call you and you ignore your son, and that's what the Most High did, man.
And that don't mean you hate them.
Yeah.
You temporarily let him know, like I ain't dealing with you right now.
He unplugged the phone by taking away his names from
Yep.
us. So that way we don't have no contact.
Hey, or like your parents will take you to jail, or your parents will call the police on you.
Yeah.
And even if you cry,
hell yeah.
they'll suck up their emotions, just keep walking off.
Exactly.
They want you to learn from that, staying in jail overnight.
And you know, and they also do it for your protection.
Yep.
You know, it's in some cases.
Yep. Oh, that's true.
And they showed you that on Minister Society. Remember when Cain was calling on the grandmama and how she just turned her head?
Yeah.
She was
Oh,
crying
yeah.
from within.
Yep.
Remember that?
But it was for the greater
It
good.
was for the greater good.
Hey, in the book of Lamentations, Moses said he was like an enemy to us.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He swallowed us up. You know?
Yes, more on that.
Nah,
All
I'm good, bro.
right, I'm gonna finish it out for you. Now it says miraculous sign, omen. It says omen.
Something is divine, man. You know, it's prophetic.
All right, now it says, I'm gonna go down to, I keep reading. Warning, token, ensign, standard, miracle, proof.
Proof that we are the nation of Israel. Build the curses, man.
But you know what? You know, and this is kind of what these definitions are breaking out through the spirit. The Most High put us on display for the world.
Yeah.
Cause you ever see like right after slavery, they had Israelites in the zoo. It's like human zoos, but all the nations can come look at them while you in a cage. But that's America.
Now you got World Star.
Now you got World Star.
That's a human zoo.
That's right.
America's because it said, I left y'all in prisons and homes, prison houses, but that's for the rest of the world. Because really the sign and the token, that's for the rest of the world to look at.
Hey, the sports figures of our people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's the other nation point of it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
the games and stuff.
saying? Yeah, the games and
Because
stuff.
you know, really, you're a king inside of a circus performing for the heathen. Like LeBron James, he looks like, to me, he looks like the ultimate Israelite.
Yeah.
But he's inside of Esau's goal. It's Esau's court dunking.
You know, it's crazy. We had said this on the text. I had said it to him and Elder B. It was one time you seen LeBron. This was like post-COVID last year. Seen this big tall Israelite. He had the grays and the beard. He looked kingly, man. On the court, he looked kingly.
Who was that, bro?
Tall, lean, LeBron. But he had like the grays in the beard, the gray in the hair, and so on and so forth. But he looked kingly. But here you are getting paid to entertain your oppressor.
Yeah.
You a lion in a circus.
He's going through a damn hoop. Line going through the hoop.
Hey, what that Edomite tell him? Hey, just shut up and bounce the ball.
Shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble.
And that was the Edomite woman.
Yeah, that was a woman that said that shit.
It's shame, bro.
Hey, you know, back in the day, man, all the sports were pretty much Esau, man. Basketball, football, and all that. But that shit was garbage as hell.
Nobody watched it.
Nobody watched it. But see, then it started fading to black, and it become more just a business thing, man. So now you got your slaves back on deck. You got them on the auction block because, you know, you got the draft and all that. You trading.
Football, college.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing new on the sun, man. Now Jake is back on the auction block. He's another product, and he's making money for Esau. You ain't in the field picking cotton, but you throwing the ball and shit.
Hey, since you said that, how do they inspect you? Because you remember back in the day, they used to make Jake open their mouth.
Yeah. Now you sprinting.
Lift your nuts up.
Yeah, lift your nuts up. But now you have these combines.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? To test your fucking heart rate.
Yep.
Your what now?
You know, your ability.
Yeah, your abilities and so on and so forth.
But you know what? They made going back to sign and reproach. They had a satire up there on South Park. They call it like crack babies. They'll like take crack babies in terms of athletes. But it was like a satire, like you come into the hood and get Jake and make them play college sports for free.
They'll make fun of.
No, so that's why those stroll bucks back then, it was like considered a high prize. Just like in today's time, you see like LeBrons, they get the highest contracts. That's what I'm saying. Niggas gotta be coming back in the real.
Because you have no worth in this society unless you make an Esau top dollar.
Yeah.
You know, nobody talks about carpenters, engineers, plumbers, architects of our people.
Right.
But if you can put a ball in a hole,
Or like the MEA. That ain't no different than what was the movie Leonardo DiCaprio, Django, where they had the two Jakes in there fighting and shit. That ain't nothing but MEA.
Man, they gonna
You know
fight.
what I'm saying?
Man, they gonna fight.
Yeah, man, they gonna fight. That's all that is.
That's right.
Hey, for the record, MMA came from Bruce Lee, man, who was an Israelite.
Dad had been in basketball. And I was doing some research. And it was in one of those Indian mounds I went to, but they showed like a little, not a display, but basically they had an inscription speaking about what people used to do around those mounds, and they showed Gad throwing the ball through a hoop, man. You know, even the way they had it, it looked like a basket. You know, so Gad invented basketball, but you got this one Edomite, I forget his name right now, man, but he got the glasses and shit, and the part of hair. But basically, he's supposed to be the Edomite that invented basketball. He didn't invent shit. He got it from Gad, man.
and if you ain't caught on by now, Esau ain't invent shit. Like, you know how Diddy was like, we invented the remix?
Yeah.
You know, like Esau remixed the shit. But it's just like hip hop. You go back to hip hop, all those beats were sampled by some jazz musicians. They took the jazz and sampled it. That's all Esau did, man.
That's right, bro. That's right. All right, so going back to how we was mocking, it's Lamentations 2:1. I had the Lord cover the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger.
The curses. All right, the curses rain, and it rains on us. What a cloud does, a cloud rains on you. The curses has rained on us.
And they show that in cartoons, like you would have that great cloud following
Always
the
follow
curve.
you,
Raining
man.
on you and shit.
Goes right back to that distinguishing mark.
And that's right here.
And if you go inside the house, that cloud comes. You go at work, that cloud comes. You go in the shower, that fucking cloud's
And
coming.
what you say, curse mean, like the indignation of the Most High? It says the anger of God. Anger of the Most High.
Righteous anger, bro.
That's beautiful. Hey,
So the Most High just didn't throw us away for nothing. It's something we did. You know, that would make you an unfit husband or an unfit father just to punish us for something we didn't do.
Yeah.
We deserved it.
Yep.
okay.
Go ahead, bro.
No, because I think in Isaiah the 22nd chapter, it says how he had violently tossed us like a ball into a large country, man. That's that translated slave trade.
Right.
Like you think about the conditions what we went through, man. We was going through a whole bunch of sufferings, man.
And you know, like you said, you would be an unfit father if you didn't punish without a purpose. Because the element of punishment is so the person that's getting punished can acknowledge his offense.
That's it.
Repent.
Repent.
Shit, 'cause as a
You
kid,
repent from the pain.
as a kid, you know, especially in my experience, if I do something wrong,
Man, you
my
deserve
parents
that
beat my. I'm probably sure I did. Parents beat my ass, man. Make me go in the room. You better not cut that damn TV on. You better not be doing shit, but sit there and think about what you done, man. It ain't like they were casting me away or done with me or didn't love me, man. But they was teaching me a solid lesson, man. You know, you obey what I tell you to do in my household. man.
Spiritual father.
Matthew 7:18. Who is a power like unto thee that pardoneth iniquity and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? So Yahweh shines like that spiritual bells buzzing for the elect of the nation of Israel. He retained not his anger forever.
Hey, speaking of bells bonds, because what's the debt that we have? It's sin, man.
Sin. That's right.
You know, he bought us from our sin.
That's right. He retained not his anger forever because he delighted in mercy. He will turn again. He will have compassion upon us. He will subdue our iniquities, and thou will cast all their sins into the depths of the sea.
Via his son, which he sacrificed his body, being a perfect lamb, and the blood was the cleansing.
Like you see somebody go to jail in a movie, and then, you know, somebody that love him show up to the jail with a bag of money. Clear all the debt.
Yeah.
Like he's good, you know?
What the Lord did.
That's exactly what he did, man. And really, he did for the whole nation of Israel.
Yeah.
As it says, that all Israel should be saved.
That's right.
Shall be saved.
That's right.
All right, so back to Lamentations 2:1. How had the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger.
And that manifested on a global slave trade, man. He casted us down from our beauty, man.
Yep, and it happened to the Northern Kingdom as well. A lot of cats don't want to talk about that, but they went through it too. Because dealing with these various captivities that the nation of Israel went into, the Northern Kingdom would get hit up first.
That's right.
You know, the Assyrian captivity, the same thing, you know, dealing with the Americas. You know, the Edomites came and conquered the Northern Kingdom first.
As the Spaniards.
Yep, as the Spaniards, you know, the Portuguese.
Well, the token is, what's the average Northern Kingdom first name? Is that of their conquerors.
That's right.
What's their language? Is that of their conquerors. What's their religion? Is that of their conquerors. So you're still a possession to your conquerors, like us. That's why I said that Judah and Israel went into captivity together.
That's right.
You know, went into Egypt together. Sometime the
50 and 33.
And this is the book of Jeremiah 50, verse 33. And it says, thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, so it's not a black thing.
That's right, bro.
It's an Israelite thing, man. It's not a color thing. It's an Israelite thing. You know? Hey, you'll come to find out when you look into secular history, the tribes were on those same plantations together, man. Or they was mining, you know, different minerals together. You know, because you know, when the Spaniards would basically cut down so many of the numbers of the Northern Kingdom, they would have to replace the workers, man. You know, and who they replace them with? Judah, Benjamin, Levi.
That's why Brazil, places like Brazil, has such and it has a heavy so-called African culture. Because of the Southern Kingdom. You know, you got Central America. It has it's heavy in the Southern Kingdom. The Panama Canal. How does that even manifest? Because they brought the Southern Kingdom down here. You know.
I got a quick one. Jeremiah 12:9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
Yeah, hey, so a speckled bird is a bird of many colors. You know, like if you look at a peacock, you got a male peacock, that's the one with all the colors on it. It's like the nation of Israel. We come in all shapes, sizes, colors, you know, many forms, because the Heavenly Father, He's diverse, man.
Bro.
You know, what, bro?
Hey, the birds round about or against her.
The other nations.
Right. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field come to the mountain.
Right, that happened. The point is, You know, it's an Israelite thing. So you can't get offended just based off how somebody looks, man. What about their heart? You know, what about the spirit of that person? But the point is, we were oppressed together, man. Going back to, like the elder said, the global slave trade. Hey, man, you got Ephraim over there in Africa right now. Hey, a lot of things has happened that it transpired you don't even know about, man. You know, and a lot of you Jakes, you think that you Judah, you come to find out you may be Ephraim, you may be Issachar, Zebulun, you may be Gad, Reuben, you know? So once again, it's the Israelite thing, man. And that's who's returning, because when you look at a lot of these different live shows, you look at the comments, you know, put up by brothers and sisters, a lot of them don't look like us, you know?
I was thinking about this yesterday. Hey, what's the scripture in Revelation that talks about how the two prophets tormented, you know, these, actually the other nations. But think about how the Most High did it this time. Now we believe that the apostles of Great Millstone are the leaders of Israel. So you have two from the southern kingdom and you have two from the northern kingdom. That's total balance, man. You know, Apostle Tahar's from what, Lawyer, Apostle Gabar, Benji, you got Apostle Ricard, Gad, Reuben, and Apostle Robert.
Ephraim.
Right. Yeah. Let's go into the other nations. Jeremiah 30:14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee.
And those are those other nations that of the God that you embrace.
Yep.
That's right. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy.
Yeah, which one of those other nations has delivered us from our captivity?
Yeah.
Nobody put no type of input in our captivity, man.
Yeah, because back in the day, you niggas used to talk about, what's his name, Nelson Mandela.
Oh, yeah,
That nigga got out of here talk about you. He said, yeah, well, what my people here?
He said, he just straight up
He's
said it.
telling you, man. Don't not my people.
Yeah. So you got the actual heathen. And like the elder said, they're guys too. Cause Caesar ain't checking for you Jakes, man. Here it is, you tatted all up with Caesar. You got the Jesus peace chain. And, you know, he'll give a flying fuck about you, man.
Yeah, he took the wheel and brought you over here.
That's right, man.
Yeah,
Good ship.
When that slave
Good
ship,
ship
man.
Jesus.
Yeah, ship
That
Jesus.
Portuguese
When the
slave
Lord
ship.
said Jesus take the wheel, man. That's spiritual. You know? Hey, so it says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy.
And they're going to show you that what happened in America was divine. That's why we're not pro-black. That's why we're not bearing guns against Esau. Hey, that was a divine, it was a great phenomenon that happened on the planet Earth, and it was through a divine will. It was literally manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny.
It was ultimately manifest destiny.
But then, like you brought out in our lesson, providence.
Yep.
Because ultimately, like you read in Revelation chapter 12, the Lord said how he would bring us to a place prepared of the Most High. So we was meant to come to America. You know, the punishment, but also the salvation, man.
Well, Esau forgot with the leaks. They forgot part 2 for manifest destiny.
That's right, bro.
You know?
That's right.
All right, so it says, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased.
Yeah.
You can't tell me the atrocities that happened with slavery wasn't by a cruel one. Because our people, they've been enchanted by witchcraft called Christianity. They forget how cruel this man was. Esau was cruel, man. He was physically and spiritually, mentally cruel.
Yeah, they lack empathy.
Yep.
You know, this man, he will kill you and not care, bro. Like, and Jay gonna come to, you gonna finally realize it. Now, we realize it already. We get it. But here it is, Jay done went through the worst captivity ever, and you still don't get it. But you gonna learn, man.
That's why Lord said he was but a little displeased, but they helped further affliction, man. You know, Esau, they just ran out, man.
Hey, Jay-Z had a line. He said, don't make me do it to you, dummy, because I'll overdo it. Esau overdid
Well,
that shit.
speaking of MMA, you've seen MMA fights and boxing matches where the bell is ringing, the referee trying to jump, and the boxer still
He
punching.
not stopping.
You know?
That's Esau.
It's Esau, man.
And this Baruch 4:15. For he had brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pitied child.
Yeah, because English was a strange nation to our people around the 1600s, just as Greek was a strange nation around our people around 2000 BC. I'm sorry, 2,000 years ago. So it was still it came back in a reincarnation as a strange language. And for who our people, who Esau was back then, 2,000 years ago, that's who he was now. Speaking in English. We spoke Hebrew. And the northern kingdom spoke Hebrew.
Yeah, because, you know, English and these other Edomite languages that basically go back to the Greek and the Latin.
Yep. That's why you got Latin American, which gonna really go back to Greek. You know, it's an extension. It's really an extension of that first beast, the Grecian beast, and everything spun from that first beast as far as the new way of thinking.
Yep.
You know, Spaniards. You know,
I did some research. The reason why Esau calls Mexico, Central and South America, Latin America, because it go back to the so-called Romance languages, like you know the Romans. They basically go back to Latin, the Latin language.
And it's heavy.
Read that strange again, bro.
And it's heavy because to speak Spanish is like you being romantic. Like you're a so-called black person from another nation, and you speak Spanish to somebody, it's like, oh.
Yeah, they call it the language of love.
Yeah, the language of love. It's a romantic language.
French, you got the French, Spanish,
The Italian.
Those are considered romantic.
Romance language. We go back to Rome.
Everything is sensual, man. Esau is very sensual, man. The language for fucking. Yeah.
Back in Baruch 4:15, for he had brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language.
In Deuteronomy 28:49, the Lord Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fly, a nation whose tongue you shall not understand.
The eagle.
Yeah. They were talking about the Romans,
Yeah.
but basically, hey, we know that Esau's deadly wound was healed, so he did it again.
Yeah.
And
You
that's
know?
and that's the manifestation of the Genesis 25 and 23. Two nations in our womb, two manner of people. But ultimately said they both struggled in the womb. So in every phase of the earth on this theater, in this earthly theater, it was the two nations going against each other.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, in the womb, there's a literal womb, Earth, but Earth, like we went into, how lands and empires are basically compared to incubators.
Yep.
So you see that struggle happening right now between Jacob and Esau, like you said, on the earth, man.
Oh, like it was happening on Mother Earth, on Earth. And then Eve was kind of like the mother of all living, showing you that Eve was like Earth itself.
Yeah.
But then, you know, going back to the serpent and Adam, but then it went back to Jacob and Esau, then it went back to like the Grecians, and then the Israel, Romans to Israel, then it went back to the Ottoman Empire, say like the Moors, then like the Renaissance period in Israel. Then we went back to like the English and the so-called West Africans, which was us.
And then them with, now I'm saying them with the so-called Mayans, so-called Aztecs, so-called Incas, you know, so-called North American Indians. Because why is that Esau is really getting into it with us? You know?
So if Eve was considered Mother Earth, right, and we can liken the womb to what?
Earth.
The earth.
Yeah.
So Eve had to come back as Rebecca.
And man, that's heavy. Because Isaac, Rebecca,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then, because then she got that blessing. Rebecca was the only one of the only ones, when she got that great blessing, she was like, from you was going to come thousands upon 10,000 of saints, something to that effect.
Yep. Genesis 19.
Yeah.
Genesis 19 it's like how we going to be, hey, that's the mother of all living, right? You know?
Same spirit.
But the point is, the thing that we just mentioned within the last hour or so, that is the constant cat-mouse, a constantly fight between two nations throughout different eras in history, man. Two nations are in our womb, two men are people, they struggle in the womb. Then the womb is the planet Earth, the two people that's struggling, that's Esau and Jacob, the nation of Israel against the nation of Edom.
Let me get it for you real quick. Genesis chapter 24, verse 60. And they blessed Rebekah and said unto her, Thou art our sister, be thou the mother of thousands of millions.
Yeah, but going back to Genesis, it said that her name was Eve because she was the mother of all living. So be thou the mother of thousands of millions, man. It came back. But who was her husband? Isaac. And who was Isaac in his first incarnation, man? Adam, which was the son of God. You know?
And then dealing with the living is ultimately going to the Israelites.
Yep.
You know, so that's that godly line.
And be thou the mother of thousands of millions, man.
That billion.
There's billions.
Yeah.
They're gonna show, hey, it's now but ultimately the kingdom,
Woo.
man.
Oh yeah. And let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them.
Because a billion is 1,000 millions.
Yep.
That's 1 billion.
So thousands of millions, that's billions. And that makes sense that we're gonna have those different planets.
right.
Israel forever. You know how they had the movie Batman Forever? Israel forever.
That's right.
You got it, bro.
I was looking at Rebecca in the Hebrew, Strong's H 7259, pronounced as Ra, and it means ensnaring. That's basically it.
Well, cause she set up the pick. She set up the play for Jacob. You know.
As the name of a girl who ensnares men by her beauty.
And it's heavy. It's heavy. You know, really going back to when she was Eve, then going back to the definition of that one, then. You know. But the point is, man, hey, it's heavy. 2 blessings in our womb, and Earth is like the womb. All right, so we saw this struggle happen time and time again, man. Throughout every incarnation, man.
This is that final showdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why, going back to 2 Ezra 6 and 7, all right? And, you know, can you get that Babaka shot right quick?
How you know it's the final showdown? The brother Zahab in Memphis, he was saying like in the late 1800s, they was gonna release all the patents of inventions and make it public, because they said we can't invent nothing else, like we done peaked out with technology. But then all of a sudden the spirit came in the earth, where you had like the Wright brothers in 1903 with the plane, the Model T Ford in 1904 with the car, you know. So the Most High kicked it in high drive for this last showdown. But that's really what they saying now, like we peaking out in technology, but they thought it was in the late 1800s, but cause they were finna make all the patents public. But that's when the Most High kicked it in another gear, just for to fulfill the prophecy.
Yeah.
Knowledge being increased.
Yep.
Now we're gonna see some. It's gonna be some bugged out stuff.
You got all type of robots designed to kill humans.
You had the Edomite, I think his name was Abraham Esau. He was like he's like the father of nuclear physics. Yep, he was the one that overseen the atomic scientist. He became like a chief scientist in the atomic.
Shit, Esau, what Esau means? What, weapon? Dagger?
What's it? Esau?
Going back to
Cain.
Hey, oh, yeah, my
His
bad,
son.
my bad, yeah. Esau
Two-ball
yeah,
Two-ball.
Two-ball Cain.
But
That's all was good.
but he said he made the waster
Yeah,
to
that's
destroy.
Yeah.
Esau wasted away.
And
They
Prince
raised
Philip.
up our many nations.
And didn't he say if he was to die, he wants to come back as a big disease?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Prince Philip said. He want to come back as a disease killing millions, pretty much.
Well, he did,
You know?
before he died.
Y'all get ready for that Philip guy.
Yeah,
That Philip gonna drop.
Philip.
All right, I'm gonna get this real quick. Just real quick. This is 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered he me. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that
Hey,
follows?
that's a spiritual statement. The parting asunder of the times. That means the transition of powers. So what's going to be the parting of, what's going to indicate that this is the parting asunder of the times? All right?
Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows?
Yep.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Yep.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
So this is the parting asunder of time, and you broke that down. It's the reason why his name was called Jacob. All right, and it went back to basically, you know, his hand going back to his heel.
A liar in wait.
And liar in wait.
Yeah.
So he was going to pull him down from his power, man.
Yeah, and it,
Yeah, I was shot.
and when you go into the word, because Jacob, his name means he supplants, or he's a supplanter. You go into that word supplant, it means to take the place of.
Yep. So
You know,
hey,
to take the stead of another.
And Rebecca goes back to an ensnarer.
That was all set up in the spirit.
Because she assisted Jacob
Yes.
to supplant.
well, she created the play.
Exactly.
You get that blessing.
She quarterbacked it. You know,
God,
that's why I was looking at. Yeah, she quarterbacked
yeah,
it, man.
bro.
All right, verse 10. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. All right, that's the point right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. So that was showing you that not only that, but what happened in Genesis 25 to 23, that was what do you call it? A foreshadowing.
Yeah.
That was a foreshadowing of times to come, man. Because those were the main events that happened throughout world history, man.
That major token of Esau coming in power, because he would be the last heathen to rule.
That's right.
To the time of the Gentile be fulfilled.
This is it right now.
It's through Esau. He's the last one to have rulership before it, because can't nothing come after an everlasting kingdom. You know,
Which makes sense. That's why the Lord is giving this man all the technology now.
And that's why shit, God, here come this shit.
Babylon, man.
Thousands of them.
Hey, but speaking about us struggle in the womb, you know, 'cause I had this one drop off. I was dropping off this one Edomite. I want to say in Monroe, Louisiana. But brother had told me what they call that coon ass, some shit like that. But basically, you know, like a lot of redneck Edomites live down there. But I was dropping off this one Edomite at this house, and really like I knew it was the hedge that was protecting me, because like the spirit of that area is like, man, where the hell I'm taking this dude? You know, but it was kind of like that what do they call that shit? Like a sundown town, so to speak, because the area I dropped them off at, this shit it had 3 big ass flags, and I'm looking like, man, because when I'm pulling up, I'm like, man, ain't no way I'm gonna drop off this motherfucker right here. I'm like, man, maybe it's like a little further down, and with no coincidence, I'm dropping this dude off right here where they had a big ass Harley Davidson flag, they had a Confederate flag, and they had a U.S. flag.
God damn.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm like, man, but you know, I dropped the dude off, and you know, I got on my way, but you know, so here it is. You got Jake that's into this biker culture, but that shit really is some Edomite shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jake took it, and Jake doing it now, but hey, either way, it's gonna be a struggle, man. You know?
Sound like a Get Out 2 movie.
Yeah, it felt like it.
Shit.
Get the hell out.
Yeah, get the hell out, yep.
Hey, you remember what the general said about the motorcycle, right? He said he wouldn't ride a motorcycle because that's like tilting the Most High.
And that's the spirit of Esau.
Yeah.
That's their thing, man.
Yeah, it's you see some world star footage of people that got their bodies disfigured all type of ways and been on them motorbikes.
They don't fear the Most High.
See, a horse is not gonna go past 35 miles an hour. Those motorbikes, sheesh.
Yep.
Then you in an open plain with a horse, you know.
And you on concrete.
You on concrete with a motorbike, you know.
One of them nigga women down here died. To crash on a motorcycle.
They said they had footage of her too, right?
Hell of a judgment. But yeah, like brother said, man, brother got these scriptures. Ain't nothing after this, man, because you speaking on this, bro. You got CRISPR, and they're heavy into human gene editing. Now you got this show on Netflix, which I'm watching myself. The brothers mentioned it. It's called Unnatural Selection, and basically, you know, you can see it just by way of the trailer. They really want to be the Most High. So this the furthest an empire has gotten to really being like the Most High, where they can, you know, alter genetics, alter your genetic code, you know, and ultimately finish you off with a chip. Because it's going to be between them manipulating your DNA and also inserting their artificial intelligence inside of you, man. You know? Through.
You know what's crazy? You know what's happening, man? I love women, man. Like, I love Israelite women. Like on the surface, they don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about the Most High. They don't give a fuck about their heritage. What they give a fuck about?
That shit there.
Second Thessalonians 2 and 3.
Yep, yeah. That's
Let
it.
no man deceive you by any means, for that day should not come, except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Right, because see, Jake acted as if the resurrection has came already. You know, if that's the case, we'd be in the kingdom. Right. You know? So it can't come yet until there had to be a falling away, which the elder here went into it. You know, you have what's called the global slave trade. They call it transatlantic, but we know we wasn't just shipped across the Atlantic. It was worldwide. Okay, and the beginning of the falling away started in 70 AD. So that happened, and you look up until right now, like the brother Ayas just said, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. You know, so the man of sin being revealed right now.
That's right.
You got it, bro.
Yep. And it says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High.
And that man of sin is Esau Edom. You know, and the reason why he's doing this because he was rejected, man. You know, here it is. He can't have the blessing that the Lord promised us. So with this new order, they're basically fabricating their own.
It's psychopathic. That's the proof that he's a psychopath. He's psychopathic because he has a natural disposition to be evil. So what did he do? He put us on under witchcraft through black and Hispanic culture to make us like him. We're inorganically become like Esau, just so he could go back to the Most High and say, "See, look at them.
What they doing?
That's psychopathic." Esau is a psychopath, man.
Yeah. At the same time, it's psychopathic and narcissistic, but he's a genius because he's an evil genius because that will keep him in power.
But you know what? That's psychopath has extremely high intelligence.
Yeah.
That's a twisted, demented genius.
Yeah. They did the one movie. It's called American Psycho.
Yep.
They got Christian Bale. Basically, he was pulling all them different models and bringing them back, to where he stayed at.
And then what genius goes into what gin, which means a trap.
Trap.
You know?
And that's what we live in, man. You got it.
And it
Which
says,
is the system.
System, yep.
it says right here, Psalm 141:9, keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity.
Which is a grand total of this system. This system is designed to oppress you, which is a trap. You know, he wants you so far in that hole where you can't climb all the way up. But through the spirit of the Most High, we have climbed up.
Yeah.
You know,
We disobeyed workers of iniquity.
Esau
Esau,
Edom, man.
And the only way out of this trap or this system, like brother said, is by way of the Holy Spirit, man.
That's it,
That's
bro.
the only way out. Because like you was going into before, notice how, it's a very satanic grid. And see, it's spiritual, and the only way to fight it is spiritual because outside that, you locked in. You driving down the street, especially you drive through the J neighborhood, no coincidence, you got churches on damn near every corner, liquor stores on damn near every corner, the type of schools Jay grew up in. So really everything designed, the corner stores, it's designed to keep you locked into this shit. And then the music, like you always get into.
See, this form of slavery, it shackles on your mind.
Yep.
Like you're going into. This like you said, it's a gin, it's a snap. It reminds me of the sucking place.
Yeah.
Like you under a spell.
Yeah.
This is sorcery.
If you control the spirit, you control the body.
Yep.
Now you don't have to be out there making people come to work. You know what I'm saying, from a physical standpoint. Now you do that with the alarm clocks.
Yep.
The system makes you want to get up so you can maintain to, want to be something in this livelihood. Or no, it's like to have a livelihood. You got to work to keep your lights on. But as you're working in all these hours, there's a disconnect from you and your How about Shem
Yep.
because you're so focused on maintaining your livelihood.
Yeah.
That's that crafty counsel. It's like slavery that's been upgraded, man.
That's what it is, bro.
Upgraded slavery.
Because that's what the movie Matrix was all about.
Yeah.
He was like, all this is designed. Morpheus was telling Neo, all this was designed to turn you into this.
Yeah.
He had a battery in his hand.
Yep.
What he say? You can't see it,
Yep.
you can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it, but it's around.
He was naming examples like when you go to church, that's the Matrix.
Yep.
When you get up to go to work, that's the Matrix to that effect.
Hey, because even on one of them, he said the one that sold out, he was eating his steak. He was like, I know it's not a steak. Hey, but he was still eating it. He still sold out.
And who was that? That's the basic. You can label that as brothers who fell out the truth.
Yep.
They know it's not a steak, but they still eat it.
Yep.
Or
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Jake 2/3, they're like Jay-Z. They know that basically it's not a steak, but they still eat it.
Yep.
Yeah, I know it's not real money, but I still want to spend
I'm
it.
still gonna
Yep.
spend it.
How far it is.
Because the lifestyle it provides.
Yep.
Hey, because really, like you say, Esau, an evil genius. The way he set up America, because it ain't even about selling out to get millions, man. If you can bring in a decent income a year, anywhere like 150,000, you really can be like a low-level king in America.
You can.
That's like even with Kevin Samuel do the numbers like what 10% of Jake make over 100.
Yeah.
1% make over 500,000.
Yeah.
So it ain't even about being millions, but if you can provide, because they were like, we were talking about that in Birmingham, like Eve, she really just want the basic lifestyle of an average Edomite family.
Yep.
Like what a high value man, like the average Edomite man, you know, he comes into those different positions. You know, where they make that type of money. Eve really just want that soccer mom lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, that's because it's perks. Because really, if you make that much money, that means you don't have to think about little spending. Like when it's time for your child to get a car, you just buy the car.
Yeah.
You know, when it's time for your child to go to college, you go to college. When it's time for a vacation, you go to vacation. Like you ain't got to think about it. You ain't got to save up. You know, so Esau made it where like if you make over 150,000, it's really like you a lower level king, like you know, like a miniature king. You know.
And you know what? And Chris Rock said something like that. He stated basically once he became this big movie star, he was able to get in these beautiful neighborhoods. But then on the flip side, you know, the people that he lived by are regular Edomites. You know, doctors and dentists. They don't even play sports. You know,
They're
they entertain the world.
Not even a part of that same world.
That's right, bro.
It's like because basically it's heavy that you're saying that we strive to be Edomite regulars. Really, Jake just want to be in the middle class. Jake just want to be on like upper middle class bracket. And that's the average Edomite.
Yeah, and they don't even compare to the elite. That's a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different bracket.
What they know they got
Because the elite control.
Yeah. See, they're really blessed in this kingdom. Like they have slaves and other nations bow down to them. These other Edomites, they're just, you know, they're blessed, but not on the status of, you know, nobility.
Come on, bro.
You know, which brings me to Psalm 73 and 4.
Right.
Psalm 73 and 4. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm.
Hey, what's this damn devil, Prince Phillips? Now, how old he live to be? 99.
99.
Yeah, so but Jake don't get close to the numbers, man.
Yeah.
And if
You
Jake
know?
get close to that number, he's a vegetable.
Yeah.
My grandma died at 90. She went back to the spirit world at 90, but she wasn't there mentally, man.
Yeah, these Edomites all cognizant.
Yep.
You know, they're moving.
Breathing machine.
But Jake don't them 99 years, Jake don't obtain anything.
Yeah.
Like Esau 99 years, he obtained a lot. I mean, it's Edomites, even just working in the business I'm at, man, it's a lot of Edomites. They make 400,000-500,000 a year. And you had one Edomite, you know, he used to make 1.2 million a year. But you'll never know he had a little Highlander, you know, he was just cool, you know, really didn't talk a lot, you know. But he just got promoted, and now he making about 2.3 million a year. That's his salary. So like you said, like these Edomites, and these just average Edomites, like, you know, you see him at Twin Peaks, you know, he be chilling, you know, but these Edomites, they salaried up, man.
In Mississippi, you making 2.3, you are a king.
You a king, and it's down here in the state of Mississippi.
Shit.
Job 21 and 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power.
Yeah, like you said, they obtain a lot
Yep.
within that 90, 100 years.
He don't do nothing but go to me.
But Jake is
I bet you he ain't even 50 years old. Is he?
I don't know how old he is. He probably a little bit over 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you got, like,
No, you got it, bro.
I mean, I'll tell you the other day, you got like Edomites is 18, and their grandfather worked at the plant, but cause that plant will send your child to school for free. But you got Edomite electricians, like 18, 19, they come in making 90,000.
They be getting on.
19 years old, fresh out of 12th grade, making 90K.
So you are 31 in overdraft.
Yeah.
In overdraft.
Yeah.
Scared to look at your bank account. You know you're in overdraft.
And you've been working there for maybe like 5 or 7 years, making maybe close to 50,000.
Because they did a stat. Somebody told me word of mouth in the Nissan plant. 80% of those people in the Nissan plant are in debt. So the people that run the plant, they know the living situation. That's why they treat them like that. Because you ain't going nowhere.
Yep. It was a Jake I used to work with. He did construction, and he said, if you buy a new car, you can't drive it to the job site because they know you got a car note now, and they finna treat you like shit. They know you can't go nowhere.
That shit, all that.
Yeah.
I experienced that shit.
Yeah, you get a new car, you drive up there, you gonna treat you like shit.
Back and look at your pay.
Hey, that's why
Pay grade,
your
make sure you
job
pay.
really hate for you to have like a side hustle. Like if you do something else, they really don't like that shit because they know you're gonna have a different attitude toward the job.
Well, that's what my plant manager did me. You know, he was like, he found out I had a side job. He was a cool Jake. When he found out I had a side job, that was like competitive to him.
Yeah.
Like, well, wait a minute, what you doing on the side? Well, I'm paying you this. I'm like, chill, man.
And you ain't even paying me, nigga.
They ain't even paying me, you know?
You might have a little more than I do.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Psalm 73 and verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men.
They're not in debt.
Yep.
They're not paying child support.
Yeah.
You know?
No
You got
curses.
bro, you graduate from high school and you're making 90K. You know what I'm saying? Most of these cats, man, they teach us what either you gotta go to the army, you know what I'm saying, or you gotta go to college.
Or drive trucks.
Or drive trucks. And when you get out of college, hell, you all Esau damn near 30K.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't even make fucking 30K. You probably making about 25,000 here in Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the average living income.
So now you got to go get your master's, which is more money, which is possibly another 25,000, and that's 50K.
And
More debt.
what Ye say, and a white man get paid off for all of that. He created a system that in order for you to elevate, you got to pay him more.
Yeah. And because that one Israelite man that do make 150,000, like you had brought out the point, he got a whole generation just depending on that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody trying to cleave off that, but like you said, like, cause they either might make the 90,000. His granddad already make 220,000. You know, his father make 100 plus, so he make 90. So everybody's straight.
And now,
The women ain't got to work.
Hey, and then not to mention, bro, once they pass, what they do, they set up a huge insurance policy, a life insurance policy.
Yep.
So you got a good ass head start in life compared to Jake. Jacob fucking died, and then now you got to pay off the house or the car.
And the reason why Esau was able to get those big insurance policy because how they do life insurance, they do your yearly salary for 10 years, and then that's the biggest life insurance that you can get. So if you make 50,000, well, in 10 years that's 500,000. So you can only get a $500,000 life insurance. So if Esau's making 200,000 a year, all right, over 10 years he can get him a $2 million life insurance. You see? So that's how they do their life insurance is based on your yearly income over 10 years.
And that goes, what's up, bro?
You got it.
No, that goes to show you like welfare system, the welfare system, and the feminist movement. Those are two other attacks, modern day attacks on our people. They keep that disparity gap wide open. Because you take the father out of the household, ain't nobody inherit this shit. Then if the family being raised up the government, who inherited what? What you gonna inherit? Block cheese? So they're gonna show you the crack, the welfare system, the feminist movement. All that shit was divide and conquer. Because even in 2021, if you make straight A's and this Edomite make straight A's, he still got more leverage than you because of what happened before he was born. Because what you just broke down with his granddad. Because statistically, Jack don't inherit shit. But at least in every Edomite family, they're gonna receive what you call a gift from one person in their family.
That's right.
A head start.
It's great head start.
Job 21:8. Their seed is established in their sight with them.
Their offspring. You know, so a father get to see his child be something, and that grandfather get to see his grandson be something.
And how many times? Slop. How many times do you see Edomites bringing their son to a construction site? You know, Edomite, they be bringing them dudes like 17, 16. They be bringing them little boys with them. Whatever Esau does, he brings those boys with him.
They're grooming them.
They grooming them for a crowd.
That's right.
Because you can't survive in, you can't live in America without no fucking crap.
Yeah, see, most of these, majority of your Edomites, they're going to have these construction jobs, or they're going offshore down here. But meanwhile, our fathers or mothers teach us to go to school to get underpaid and to come back out of, well, actually, once you graduated, now you got debt.
But in most cases, you majored in something that the economy
Don't even need. Half these motherfuckers that graduate from school, they don't even use a degree.
Right, because when I was at the fucking plant, half of them had degrees. They have like a college day. Everybody wear the t-shirt of the college that failed them.
Sociology and some shit.
Yeah, but no, the only way you can really make money as a man, you gotta major in something that the economy needs. Carpenter, construction worker, electrician, truck driver, plumber. Those are the real also essential workers.
And if you're going to school, then you need to go to school, which I wouldn't, tell anybody to go to school. But if you do go to school to be a nurse.
An engineer.
Where you make 6 figures. An engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor, or an architect.
Yeah.
Don't do no shit where you're not even gonna make fucking middle class salaries.
But it just sounds good when you tell somebody.
That you got a degree, but you ain't getting paid for it. But meanwhile, goddamn, you broke as fuck. Well, you can just actually drive for Uber and make more than a person that went to school for 4 years.
Yeah, go get your CDL. You're making $90,000 a year.
Exactly, bro.
Society is scam. Because even for people that are into the skill of, let's say, being an engineer, a lot of people got those different aspirations, but they'll go to let's say Cali, thinking they're gonna make it big, man. They become a damn opioid addict, man. Because them brothers telling me about that. Like, a lot of people think they gonna go somewhere, and not saying you can't be an engineer, but just saying, the American dream dead. Because they'll think they gonna go out there and excel, and this shit, it don't get off the ground, man.
Hey, one thing I noticed too about America, which we all know, America doesn't groom morals. So you know how many people were like good kids to the point where they're like 18, then they went to college and became niggas? Or like a girl, she was kind of sheltered till she was about 18, then she went to college and their heads, with some of their heads left, but she became a whore. See, a lot of people, America is dead, but a lot of our people, they get caught up in bullshit because our generation have been groomed to go to school and make something of themselves, but they haven't been groomed morally.
Well, more so like, what I mean, how they get strung out, the cost of living.
Oh yeah.
Because you think, you figure you'll be an engineer, you go out to Cali, and they don't cut it. Even engineers out there struggling, man. That's why you got like a mass exodus of people leaving Cali. They would rather go like Arizona or Texas.
Yep. And that's how you know, the hope of Babylon is leaving, man.
Over, bro.
Because Cali was a big thing, really the last 100 years. Yeah. Because I said the last 80 years, because everybody was leaving the South and going to the West Coast. And then they're going to the Midwest, like you said, the North, or they was going out to the West Coast, man. So, when everybody is leaving those great places, that's a sign we at the end, man.
And it's part of the heartbeat of America, because you got that in New York, but it's so much is made in Cali.
Yep.
Hey, I was
Silicon Valley.
I was looking at this clip, man, and it's a thing that Esau would do, man. I was talking to Scott about it, man. This Edomite, man, he was having like a seminar, and he said he would never get a debit card. He said he ain't gonna get no debit card, never had one. He won't allow his sons to have one. He said what he do is use a credit card. He said he purchased everything with his credit card, use their money, and he said he'll pay it back. But he said his sons, what he do with them, he get the credit card they name. Yep. He said he put a limit on to what they could spend, and he said he'll just make the payments on it. He said by the time his kids get out of high school or college, they got an 800 credit score. You know what I'm saying? And he said they continue the same trend. They don't get no debit cards. All they do is use credit cards, pay them off, and they pass it on down.
And because we was independent. A lot of us, move out on our own when we were young, but we fucked up. We didn't know how to use a credit card. We stayed in debt because we first of all we have a foundation, but then we didn't know how to build a foundation because you was taught the wrong shit growing up in the schools. But one thing I noticed too, Jake be moving out so early. You look at Elon, they'll live with their parents till they're about 25. Because they'll get a job and then save money. Then they'll get married at 25 and help them to pay down payment on the house when they're like 25. Build it. So like here, it's like bad if you live with your mom at 25 because you're a consumer. But if you stay with your parents until you're 25, you've been building for the last 7 years, and now you have an establishment. You see?
Yeah, Jay be staying with their mom, don't even be helping out with the rent and paying bills.
But he got about 2-3 baby mamas. So that's not building. Black culture really tell you how to live off instinct, how to fucking get money. But no, like you said, those other nations, they have systems to establish them, man. So with Jacob's reverse, we get wise when we were about 35. If we lucky, we were like, damn, I was young and dumb. Because we didn't have no systems when we was young to put us in a better position. Because Esau gave us nigga culture. He made it lucrative to empower him.
I got something for you.
About the shop.
Since you said that, because we need to be healed. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee.
Hey, because nigga culture, spit culture, Native American culture, that's a mental disease. That's an illness. Black culture is an illness. That's why it's so easy to manipulate Jake, because we don't have no heritage to stand on. If your esteem comes from another of your enemy's empire, then that means you're wounded. If I buy a designer belt made by an Edomite that would never sit next to me, that would never, acknowledge me in public, but that boosts my self-esteem that I made him rich, there's something right in here, man. If my woman take the melanin out of her head, and now her esteem rises, she puts in blue contacts, now her confidence goes up. That's an illness. If I kill another Israelite man, and that's a one-up for me, that's a fucking illness. But you ignore all your enemies. You got it, brother.
These them niggas. Cause what we be saying, Jake's so quick to kill each other, but they won't kill another Edomite. Hey, what Jake was saying, our forefather Moses, we try to stop him from, killing his brother. Come on, man.
Hey, you gonna do us like you did that cat right there?
Yeah.
Who died and made you the overseer?
Yeah.
God damn,
But
man.
he's trying to save your black ass. And I called you black because you niggas was born of the light.
Them niggas, man. And I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord.
Did it not say our wound was incurable?
Yep.
You look at our people, you be like, man, ain't no way these the Israelites.
Yep.
You look at niggas that get shot, you sagging in skinny jeans, your drawers hanging out like diapers and shit. Like, ain't no way you can hear these people, huh? And you dead. You're like, man, ain't no way you can raise these jakes back up, man.
Can these bones live?
Can these bones live?
Zeke said, thou knowest. Zeke didn't even want to answer that. Zeke said, it's a trick question. Trying to get me.
So I don't know.
Because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after.
It said we'll be a reproach and a curse. Y'all went into sign, and that sign was like for the other nations saying, this is Zion, because that's our punishment. That was our form of humiliation. The Most High humiliated us in front of all the nations by way of the curses.
Hey, how you break down, you always go to the movie Eddie?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When it's like that foster child?
Yep.
You know,
Because the nation, because the word Annie goes back to the Hebrew word Hana, but basically in the spirit, Annie was like the representing nation of Israel in captivity.
And that's oh man, you know what? That's heavy because if we were like that foster child, then through Yahweh Shah, we were adopted back to the Most High.
Yep.
Adoption goes into adopt, which means chosen.
Yep. Annie was chosen by that billionaire, that rich man, but she was an orphan, and she didn't know her parents.
Yep.
And she was in captivity because every morning had to wake up and scrub. It's a hard knock life for us. Jay-Z sampled it.
Yeah.
Hey, the word, I had looked it up.
I'm sorry, in the video, the little girl was singing instead of Eddie. Like the rap video was like the little girl singing, little Jake girl. All right?
Now, the word Hana, it goes back to the Hebrew Hana, which means favor or grace.
Like ultimately, that's the elect.
Yeah.
But just like in general, that's the nation of Israel,
Yeah.
just the chosen people.
Yeah.
But Annie was in captivity. I think I did, but definitely could redo it. Yeah.
Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
And that's when Annie got adopted by that billionaire. He yet chose Jacob.
So you put that word adopt for choose right there. But yeah, adopt Israel.
Adopt Israel.
And then, because Annie, if I can remember clearly, Annie had a cruel overseer. Like the one who ran the orphanage was cruel.
Yeah, I didn't see the new make, but I remember the old version it was.
The old one is spiritual.
Yeah.
The one from like the 50s. The old one is spiritual, man. It almost make you emotional if you kind of compare it to the scriptures.
Bro.
Hey, because you got a hard night life for us. You got the song of the sun come out tomorrow. Hey, man. Make you tap somewhere, man. Yeah. Can you read that last part again, bro? You got it, brother. You can read.
It's back at Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Yep. And he goes back to Hannah, which means favored, because the rich man had favor on Annie. He was pleased by her, man. It also reminds me of the movie Cinderella. Because somebody, we went into the word Cinderella, that word Cinderella went back into like outcast too. Yep, the word Cinderella goes back into like, it went into a certain code, a type of code that you throw out. So she was outcasted, man.
And when she lost her father, she became a slave to their house.
Wow. But she was chosen by that prince. You know, Prince Charming. You know, it was chosen by that prince, man. You know? All right.
Man, this thing is spiritual.
Yeah, it sounds spiritual, bro.
Yeah. It set them in their own land, and the strangers should be joined with them, and they should cleave to the house of Jacob.
And that's the scattered Israelites.
That's right, bro.
You know? But
Anybody
anybody,
in Babylon? Shit.
anybody's got any final scriptures?
Yeah, it's all good.
Got any final scriptures?
Nah.
Or any final statements? All right, well, we're going to very close. We're going to draw this live stream to a closing. All right, hey, with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
double honors once again to our apostles, the great millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessing to the house of David the elect. A Bible ball! Come down, shalom! How about Shema Sharp, Rakatham, Shalom?
Shalom.
Y'all see what fucking Jake just did, man? Jake went in the damn trash can. Look like a big ass Sunny cup. Like,